practical musicianship and practice tips coming at you. Things that are going to help you practice more efficiently, play smoother, and maybe add a bit of speed to your playing. So lots of things to consider when learning an instrument and learning music, and here's some of them. All right, if you're playing for speed, whether it's banjo, guitar, or mandolin, your point of attack can be an ally. So often if you're playing in the middle, like kind of far away from wherever your bridge is, whether it's the bridge on the banjo or guitar, it can be a little bit harder to play fast and play fast accurately, because if you strike your string and look at it, it's kind of vibrating the most, like in the area that's like right in the middle from where your bridge and your nut is. But if you strike it and you look back near the bridge, you'll notice it's not really vibrating or moving very much right there. So actually getting a little bit closer to the bridge can help when trying to play fast. It makes it easier to be accurate because there's not a little tiny moving target that's moving at micromillimeters, right? So playing near the bridge for banjo can help a lot, but also other instruments as well. There's a little bit of I'd Like to Be a Train by Larry Sparks. And so that's a tune that I've been working on a little bit lately, trying to push my speed. You know, over the years, my speed ceiling has gone up. You know, for a while, I couldn't play past 130 or 140 BPM cleanly or in control. Over time, I finally got to 160. Now I'm kind of pushing up into 180 territory a little bit. So it takes time to get faster. You've got to play a lot. I recently did a gig with one of my buddies, JB Miller, who's the guitar player for a band I was in called Kentucky Shine. Me and JB played with Rick Ferris, who's, you know, top of the crop for bluegrass, and JB was asking him about speed, and one of the things Rick said was, you kind of got to play a lot. And I was like, you mean to tell me that if you want to be an athlete, you got to be in shape? So we all chuckled. But the point is, like, you have to play a lot, and you've got to be playing for a long time. So speed shouldn't be your only goal. One of the things I preach to a lot of my private students is control first, you know, and then push for speed. But something else that I've been doing to try to help my speed get faster is when starting to play something that's at the top of your ceiling, get your metronome going, whatever it is, and just listen for a while. Don't just jump in. And when you're listening, after you just, you know, let some of the beats go by, try to think in time. So what I'll do when I'm trying to play Larry Sparks' I'd Like to Be a Train at 160, 170, 180, is I'll just listen for a while. Just hear that steady pulse. But then I'll try to think in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Speaking out loud helps if you need to, but just thinking in time, silently. Obviously, I can't demonstrate that to you, right? It's happening in our minds, but I try to think in time. I'll think through the entire tune just while listening to that metronome, you know, thinking through the melody. The other thing I'll do once the metronome gets started, let's give you an example here. Let's say I've got it at, let's do it at something where I'm not going to totally flub it up here. Let's go to, I'll push it a little bit for you guys. I'll put it at 168. So, get the metronome going. At first, just listen. And I want to feel relaxed as I'm listening to the metronome. That's another thing, you know, we start hearing these fast tempos and we start to kind of crunch up. So we want to listen for a while, take some breaths, and make sure we're kind of relaxing all the little muscles in our body. But now once I start listening, I'm going to try to count in my head in time. And then I'm going to kind of imagine the melody. Imagine like I'm singing it in time, because following the melody can really be a great guide for playing your leads and your backup. I'd like to be a train, right? So I'm thinking of that. And then I'll play little pieces and take little breaks as well, not just playing non-stop. And if I mess up like there, kind of lose my space, give myself a second, kind of start the process over. So I want to listen, make sure I'm relaxed. Take a breath, right? Then I start imagining that count. I might imagine the melody again, right? It's not a, hey, I've got it. It's I've got to mess up and try again a lot. So you've got to be willing to make your mistakes and try again, but it's good to kind of take those little breaks and stop and reset and give it another go. Something else that can help with speed is minimizing your excess motion. I mean, this is just the crux of learning to play an instrument, pretty much. You know, it's like we always want to keep our fingers closer to the fingerboard or not let our pick hand or fingers fly too far from the strings. We're keeping things close and only moving the amount we need to. So with your pick, you know, if you're just playing one string, just the fifth string, we don't need our pick coming way out here unless we're trying to get a really strong pick noise or a really strong volume, you know, really loud volume. We just need to move just, you know, however wide that string is, we just need to move just that little bit further than that and then get it to reset. So the one finger workouts that we have on Tunefox with Banjo are great for that. Or any of the pick exercises. When you're doing these, try to minimize your excess motion. And the same goes with your fret hand. You know, if you're doing your scales, try to keep those fingers low and over the fingerboard the whole time. Minimize your excess motion. Here's a tip for everyone learning out there. You don't have to learn a new technique every week. You don't even have to learn a new song every week. But anyways, I had a friend that's learning clawhammer banjo, and they got to the drop thumb so hard that they got frustrated and they haven't picked it up for weeks ever since they couldn't tackle that new technique. And my advice was pretty simple. You don't have to learn drop thumb. You can just play and build a repertoire of simple tunes. You don't have to be learning something new every week. You know, learning an instrument is a long process. So take it slow and do what you can. And then over time, you know, come back to those hard things, but don't let them stop you from playing your instrument. Sounds pretty cool, right? No drop thumb, no hammer-ons. There's a world of music that can be played without all the fancy techniques. I'm not saying don't try the fancy stuff. I'm just saying don't let it stop you if you're not getting it as quick as you think you should be. All right, here's another one. Make your exercises less boring. Gave some pick exercises to a student recently for guitar where we're doing just some string crossings, because string crossings is one of the hardest things in my mind for bluegrass guitar and mandolin. You know, where you're having to kind of alternate and cross strings. Right? So she was getting a little bit bored with that, so what she did was kind of kill two birds with one stone and practice bar chords and some of her different chord shapes. Looks like I need to practice my bar chords too. But my point is, you know, you don't have to take everything as it is. You can kind of make it your own, add some new stuff to make it more interesting, because we want to find ways to make practice enjoyable. If you can do that, you're going to be a huge success. You're going to enjoy your instrument more, and you're going to progress a lot more. So we always got to look for ways to make practice enjoyable. And those picking exercises can be applied to, you know, mandolin or banjo. We make our chord shape, and maybe we just practice our rolls. Make your different chord shapes. Even if it takes you, you know, a little bit of time to switch from one chord to another, that's okay. You're just practicing. It's going to make your roll sound cooler. And if you get frustrated with one chord, it's too hard, leave it for the day. You know, go to a chord that you can do. Don't let the things that you can't do stop you from doing the things that you can. Here's another tip for the beginners. I was teaching this older gentleman, Gary, Gary's a great guy. Anyways, Gary's got some basic chords down. He's got some melodies. We're working on roll and finger position and all that. But you know, he wants to play the crazy stuff that he sees on Facebook. It's understandable. Not always achievable in the beginning stages, but what I showed him, he thought was pretty cool. So what you can do is take a simple melody you may know, like he was working on Old Joe Clark. And just add in the 5th string as a drone, like after every melody note. Sometimes we might have to use the index finger to play the melody, you know, if you were using the thumb to play it down here. But as you can see, it goes from very simple to all of a sudden sounding like a lively kind of banjo arrangement of Old Joe Clark. Right, and we could do that with 3 fingers, sort of in the Scruggs style, but not really Scruggs style, or just 2 fingers. We've got a lot of 2-finger stuff on Tunefox. It's great for beginners to check out. If we're doing it that way, just thumb and index, and playing the melody with our index, that's called index lead. We could take another song, maybe that we play the melody with the thumb a little bit more, like I'll Fly Away. And then use the index finger on the 1st string as a drone. Right, sounds pretty cool. So that one has some longer melody notes. So instead of just doing melody and drone constantly, I was doing the bum diddy pattern. So I do the melody note, long note, and then the melody note and the drone. So like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Right? So some simple concepts you can try out, and like I said, we've got some 2-finger stuff on Tunefox that you can check out the tablature, and you can hear it being played in the context of a band, so it kind of brings it to life. So if you need that extra help, give us a try and let us know what you think. We'd love to have you. We'd love to hear from you. All right, that's all we got for these musician tips. I hope that they helped. Keep picking and stay tuned.